beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys, in today's tarot card reading, we're going to be discussing all of the upcoming surprises that are coming towards you. So whatever surprise is next in line is what we're discussing right here. So how this video works is that you pick one of these 4 crystals that just resonates the most with you. And if you need any help on choosing the right crystal for you, feel free to download my free downloadable. The link is in the description box. But I would definitely say a very helpful way for you to choose the right crystal for your situation is for you to just pause the video and take a good look at these 4 minerals. And hopefully with a little bit of meditation, one of them will speak to you. So the 4 minerals that I have for you to choose from today are as follows. We have the ocean calcite, we have the rose quartz, we have the amethyst, as well as the carnelian. But the timestamps to all 4 groups will be linked down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the comment section. So you just need to click your timestamp and the video will fast forward to your reading. And if this is the first time that you're tuned into my channel and you enjoyed your reading, found it insightful and helpful, make sure that you subscribe to my channel to never miss another reading relevant to your life. So I want to keep this intro very short. I don't want to waste your time. I would rather just channel more messages within the readings, within the individual groups. So I will be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the ocean calcite, and to all of my other lovely groups. I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the ocean calcite group number 1, which is just such a gorgeous mineral. It is really one of my faves. I will leave a little link to the ocean calcite down below in case you're interested, but I want to move into your reading to figure out exactly what surprises are coming next for you. So first and foremost, we have the waning moon. So one thing that I can see in the waning moon is just this question of what you need to release, just things becoming very clear to you about people and items that you need to let go of, okay? So I want you to know that this is not something bad. This is a really great surprise, because all of a sudden you think to yourself, wow, like I really should be letting this go. I should really be in a position where I'm okay with letting go of these old clothes, or this person who has just always kind of been a negative Nancy or has never been able to be happy for me in moments of success. Then we have community as well as forgiveness. So I see forgiveness coming as a big gift towards you. So either you finally being able to forgive somebody or someone coming towards you with a lot of forgiveness. And I see that this has to do with a very impactful kind of just moment of enlightenment that you're really going through. And this may come as a surprise because you may have never kind of felt as though you actually wanted to forgive the people who wronged you, or like you were quite ready. But I see here that with help of an amazing community, a community that uplifts you, that makes you feel good about yourself, valued and worthy, I see that you can come to this place of forgiveness, come to this place of just an understanding that this is really a gift that you give to yourself. This is really something that does not condone the other person's behavior, but that allows you to just walk free of the emotional ties. So we have 2 cards that just popped right out of the pile that clearly want to speak about the surprises coming up next for you. So we have sensitivity. We have 4 cards actually that popped out. We have give back, we have get clear, as well as choice. So, okay, let me just move your crystal maybe over here so we have a little bit more space. Yeah, okay, I like that. So one thing that I can see here in give back is just like one of the next surprises coming for you is that finally, you know, there is some reciprocity there. If you have been giving a lot to certain people or communities, as you know, we do have community within your reading, I definitely see here that it's finally being reciprocated and you're finally getting the recognition that you felt like you should have gotten a while ago. So that is also something that kind of helps with forgiveness. That is also something that helps you want to cooperate, because of course, like, why would you want to forgive people or forgive situations when it seems like you're just like this person that just gives and gives and gives, but then on the other end, you're like a sponge that just takes in all of everybody else's burdens, but you're never being like reciprocated with the same by anybody. So I totally get you, group number one, and there's a reason why you chose the ocean calcite. The ocean calcite is really for sensitive souls, for people who are often misunderstood, and it can just kind of like aid you in that feeling of knowing that it's not you. It's just about getting clear that a lot of people, a lot of society just has a different viewpoint, and that is something that we need to come to learn to accept, and also realize that some people are just the way they are. For instance, if you're dealing with a narcissist, if you're dealing with somebody who has borderline personality disorder, they may not be able to help their behavior that can be very hurtful to you. So get clear to yourself about the fact that you can't fix everything, you can't help everyone. All you can really do is just take the choice to accept, and that is where choice comes into place. This card is all about just reminding yourself that, you know, one of the great, it seems like a surprise sometimes when you're going through something difficult, to just come back to a place where you remind yourself, like, it is my choice whether I allow this person to affect me negatively, and it is my choice whether I react to this. It is my choice how much reactivity that I display and how much in control of myself I remain, because at the end of the day, you can only control your actions. You can't control how somebody else does things, how somebody else feels towards you, and it is not your responsibility to try and make them like you. So in sensitivity, I want you to just honor it. I want you to know that, you know, about 20% of the population are highly sensitive people, and it's very important for you, if you feel like you're one of those individuals, an empath, somebody who really just, when you see somebody going through something, you feel it too, okay? It hurts you too. When you see somebody in pain, you feel their pain. And that is just one of the traits of somebody who is, you know, highly empathetic, who can understand what other people go through, who has a high emotional intelligence, if you will. So that type of sensitivity, see that as a surprise, as like a gift that you did not expect, because people always kind of these days try and say being sensitive, you know, don't be overly sensitive, just let it go. But it's like, no, the fact that I have this sensitivity is a gift. It can be surprisingly, how should I say, it can be surprisingly amazing to have that as a part of your life all of a sudden when you need me, because when you need somebody who is sensitive enough to understand what you're going through, all of a sudden this overly sensitive persona is not a bad thing anymore. All of a sudden people want you around them because you understand, because you're sensitive, you're highly sensitive, right? So I see that, you know, just not allowing people to pick and choose when they want to honor your sensitivity, and to just like basically state the facts that this is who you are, this is a part of you, and you know, you love it. And if they love you, then they will love that part in good times, bad times, and times where they just want you to not be so sensitive. But often that is also a defense mechanism, when people just kind of want to push your feelings to the side because they want to discuss theirs first. But let's move back into the surprises. Okay, so your sensitivity being something so positive may be a big surprise to you. Then in the Muse of Materials, I see somebody coming into your life who has an amazing impact on you in the earthly realms, on you in your career, your success. So this could be, for instance, a life coach, somebody who teaches you how to deal with different situations and people in business, with your finances. And this person coming into your life, they can be male or female. It doesn't really matter who they identify themselves as. So don't take the Muse of Materials as any specific gender, but what is really specific about them is that they inspire you to do better. They inspire you to go after the things that you've always wanted, and after the amount of free time that you've been craving. So whether that is in a book form or somebody physically coming towards you. Also, don't be too narrow-minded about it. It could be somebody like a personal trainer who just opens up those clogged up chakras, those clogged up like balls of energy within you, and just makes you be able to properly breathe and feel again, okay? So this is just somebody that releases tension for you, somebody who does an awesome job at that. Then we have the Queen of Inspiration, as well as the Devil. So one thing that I can see here in the Devil is just kind of like, what is a surprise to you is somebody just being really, really tempting, okay? Somebody being very much that you feel drawn to them. And this is surprising to you because in the Queen of Inspiration, I see that this is not somebody that you're usually drawn to. This is not a situation that you would usually be entangled in, but the Queen of Inspiration is just kind of drawing you in with their compelling way of speaking, their compelling way of just displaying messages, displaying different emotions, if you will. And I see here in the Devil that you're just like really captivated by this person, and it almost feels like you have a little bit of a codependency there where you want them in your life and you're afraid of losing them. So you do have to look out, group number one, for, you know, people not using this empathetic and sensitive side of yours. And I just want to be honest, because I could just be sitting here and letting you just hear all the messages you want to hear, but I also want to protect you. I also want to make sure that you're safe, because I care about my community. I care about telling you the truth and not just letting you kind of walk into an open blade. So always be very careful when you feel overly captivated by somebody or somebody's opinion seems more important than usual. Then we have the Seven of Materials, wrong way around. In the Seven of Materials, one thing that I can see here is just the surprise of the fact that you're a lot closer to your goals financially and just professionally than you may have ever thought, because sometimes we feel like we're taking steps backwards when we're actually not. When actually, even if it feels like we're taking steps backwards by, for instance, losing a job or not being able to stay in your workplace, you actually learn so much about yourself as well as what it takes to survive, sustain yourself, and often that just gives you a new opportunity, a better job that you were meant to be a part of anyways. Okay, so often that just like kind of frees you from a situation that wasn't for you to begin with. Then we have the Knight of Inspiration. So in the Knight of Inspiration, I see here as a surprise, you know, somebody hitting you up, somebody trying to see where they can take things, somebody who is interested in you physically. Okay, so the Knight of Inspiration is most likely a fire sign or has very strong fire sign energy within their chart, and that makes them charismatic, that makes them the type of person that you may naturally feel drawn to, especially if you chose the ocean calcite. If you're a water sign, it can be nice to have somebody who is equally as expressive but in a different way than you, in a less sensitive way. So allow yourself to just like engage in that if you are single, and if you're in a relationship, know that it's okay to just like politely decline if you need to. Then we have the Sapphire as well as the Azurite. So be easy on yourself, okay? One of the surprises coming towards you, group number one, is just the fact that you're going through a phase of deep emotional healing, and you can feel it. You can feel that things are happening, things are changing. Maybe you're not allowing people who you would usually allow to have a very strong emotional hold on you. Maybe you're kind of just severing the ties, and you can feel this personal growth. You can feel yourself going through this transformation and transition that you've never been through, but sometimes you can still fall back into old patterns and just ways of thinking, where I see in the Sapphire, you just have to be like kind to yourself. You just have to allow yourself to know that you're doing the right thing by moving into this transitional stage, by being a part of your evolution, by allowing it to happen. And know that certain difficult emotions will arise. There may be guilt, there may be this feeling of obligation, there may be this fear within you like, oh, what if I change too much and people don't like me? Don't allow that to take over and kind of make your change, kind of stifle your change. That is what I mean. I wanted to find the right words. Then we have the Yellow Jasper. Last but not least, in the Yellow Jasper, I see here that one of the surprises coming towards you is finally like releasing some control issues that you may have had, group number one. And I'm not trying to call you out, but let's just talk about it, okay? If you have really bad anxiety, or you always need to plan everything down to the littlest, smallest detail, you may have a little bit of a control issue. You may have a little bit of a situation brewing under the surface where it's hard for you to let go and just enjoy. And I see here in the Yellow Jasper that this is a surprise coming towards you. You feel more mature, you feel more free, and less like you have to oversee everything in order for it to not go burning down in flames. Because take it from a person who likes to be in control of things. It's not like we like being like that. It's more like if we don't do it, we're afraid of the consequences, not just for us, but also the people and the things that we love. But anyways, group number 1. So this is the reading that I received for you. I hope you liked my honesty. I hope you liked my directness. If you did, leave a little rainbow emoji down below in order to let me know that you made it all the way to the end, as well as a token of good luck, okay? So leave that little rainbow emoji in the comment section. So group number 1, wherever you are in this world, I wish you a fabulous day or night, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Rose Quartz Point group number 2, which is a stone of love, affection, and romance. So I'm going to be putting it right over here, but let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what surprises are next up for you. So first and foremost, we have the full moon eclipse. So we have things going on here astrologically that have to do with the next surprise. So it's all about the fact that you are coming to conclusions that are going to be surprising, okay? So this could be the conclusion of the fact that you have been seeing somebody who is a no-good unicorn anyways. This could be the conclusion that somebody who you hoped would be there for you is in fact trustworthy if you've still been having doubts, okay? So coming to a conclusion that just makes you kind of be at peace with your relationships, with where you're at with the people around you, and just really just true colors, okay? True colors coming to light. And that could be painful. It could also be very exciting and just give you a feeling of being loved and cared for. Then we have the new moon in Taurus, as well as the full moon in Scorpio. So group number 2, the full moon in Taurus, I mean, if you're a Taurus or you know a Taurus, you know how my Taurus gang likes food, cuddles, sleep, just all things that are very relaxing. And they also like the luxuries that life has to offer. So this just comes with prosperity. This upcoming surprise is a very Taurus-oriented kind of surprise, a surprise that a Taurus would love, but you may also love, okay? It doesn't matter what zodiac sign you're of. I mean, who does not like to be in a prosperous situation or in a situation where they don't have to worry about whether they have enough time or enough financial means to do what they want to do? So there's where I see that prosperity is coming your way, and it's a surprise because maybe up until this point, the struggle seemed very real. The struggle was very real and just made you feel like, oh, it's endless, but it's coming to an end is what I'm trying to say, group number 2. Then in the full moon in Scorpio, I see here that just releasing negativity and just the fact that it's a surprise to you how easy it is, because sometimes there are negative patterns in our lives. For instance, always sucking up to somebody who is mean to us because for some reason we feel compelled to do so because we value their opinion or because we have this codependency if they've been a lifelong friend or, for instance, a family member. But when you finally distance yourself and seek out, take the negativity out of your life, seek out those boundaries and that space, you're going to feel better than you ever expected, and it's going to just feel natural. It's going to feel like you're finally freed, and that is like a surprise because things that you have struggled with for such a long time, patterns, cycles of negativity, all of a sudden seem so powerless when you open your mind and your perception to the fact that you control this and you can stop it at any given time. And the only person who has to be happy with your life, the only person who needs to be happy with you is you, group number 2, okay? So don't allow somebody else's happiness in correlation to you or somebody else's thoughts about you to affect how you see yourself. Then we have answers within, as well as self-love. So group number 2, I'm all about the self-love and I just love it, okay? So it'll come as a surprise to you, just the fact that you can find so many answers within when you just give yourself a little bit of extra self-love. So for instance, participating in doing the face masks and taking care of yourself physically, as well as just nurturing yourself with the best possible nutrients that you can find. So buying those avocados, eating those salads, in cooking those wholesome meals with friends, with family, with your partner, and just really taking care of yourself and seeing how when you're taking care of yourself, you're so much happier, your mood just improves, and it gives you a lot of answers as to why in certain situations your mood is maybe not as great as you would like it to be. So just, you know, the surprise of finally figuring out more about why you are the way you are, okay? Because you may sometimes just sit there, group number 2, and be like, why am I like this? And I see answers coming, surprising answers. Then we have healing, chaos, as well as blessings. So group number 2, we already have prosperity coming for you, but now the blessings, like, what can I say? Okay, you have some amazing energy coming towards you in the form of like just healing all of the leftover chaos and all of the things that have been left unsaid that needed to be spoken about. So know here in healing chaos that if a tornado, which could have been somebody or something, swept through your life, it could be losing a job. It could also be somebody who is close to you just bringing drama into your life. I see here that healing chaos is just kind of going to be this tornado of blessings, of positivity that sweeps around your space and just takes it all with it, okay? So just getting rid of it. And it may feel like it's just happening naturally, but in the full moon in Scorpio, I want you to know that this is actually really something that you're doing, but maybe unintentionally doing. Just being done with negative people, negative vibes. My German's coming out there. Negative vibes and just overall situations that aren't helpful to your self-love, that aren't helpful to you just expressing how much you appreciate yourself and honor this life that you're in, because life is so short. Ain't nobody got time for negativity, let's be real. Then we have the 10 of materials as well as the 5 of materials. So the suit of materials corresponds to the suit of pentacles in the traditional tarot. So the 10 of materials is all about that financial fulfillment and being in a good place. So we have that right here with the new moon in Taurus. So that goes together very nicely. And here in correlation to the full moon in Scorpio and the negativity that you're releasing, I see here in the 5 of materials that until you release the negativity consciously or subconsciously, I see that it will feel as though material things, material prosperity, time, just financial resources are more difficult than they really are. So it's more like a illusion. It's more like just a feeling of finances being a difficult topic when they're not, in fact, okay? When all you had to do was release some burdens that were put on you. And often we don't realize when people put burdens on us, and sometimes you just need to do like a full soul body scan to figure out exactly if you're carrying around a backpack full of rocks and those rocks represent somebody else's weight, somebody else's baggage, but you're carrying it around and they're just sitting tall and proud and not carrying any of their own baggage. You know, just take the backpack off or like throw it down a cliff. I don't know what you're gonna want to do to it, but you have to like just remove it from your body. You can't be doing that forever. You have your own things to deal with. You have your own backpack. And if you have dealt with your baggage, if your backpack is actually really light as a feather, then you should be able to enjoy the fact that you can pack so lightly and still backpack through the world, that you have such little baggage because you've worked through so much of it, or the baggage just affects you in a way that is not stifling or crippling yourself. You don't need to then take on somebody else's baggage, because the only person who can work on the load of the backpack, on the baggage that's in there, is the person who the backpack belongs to. So stop using backpacks that aren't yours, group number 2. Let's move further into your reading. We have the Chariot as well as the Wheel. So this is a really interesting one. I see here that surprisingly enough, it will feel as though, you know, there's a lot of ups and downs going on. The Chariot is all about just moving in one direction, putting yourself in a place where you're just like, you know where you're going. You don't need a map for it, you can just feel it. So I see that just being like a surprise, this heart opening that allows you to charge towards the right direction for you. And in the Wheel, I just see that of course it's going to be a bit of an up, up and down, but you just understand that that is the principle of life. That is the principle of success. In order for there to be success, there has to be also an element of hardship, an element of what success maybe isn't to you, okay? And we all have different definitions of success. I mean, this may come as a surprise, but some people's success is not financial. Some people's success is spiritual success. It's physical success. So while financial success is one thing, I definitely see you just coming to more of a realization that success for you is so much more holistic than just finances. It has so much more to do with where you're at mentally, with how kindly you treat your body, how well you take care of it, and how good you feel in it. Then we have courage, as well as happiness. So group number 2, one thing that I can see that is coming as a surprise to you is just like the cojones that you have, okay? That is one thing that I see in courage. The ability to speak up, the ability to just say what you'll put up with and what not. I definitely see that this courage comes as a surprise to you, but it makes you happy because you can kind of just like tap yourself on the shoulder and know that you're doing something for you. Finally, you're doing something that makes you feel emotionally stable, and also like you're just owning it. You're owning who you are. You're owning your opinions. Like, you said what you said, you meant it, and that's where it's at. That's where it's staying. So group number 2, I love that. I just see so much empowerment coming as a surprise for you, and I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see where it will take you and what prosperous messages and comments that I'll find down below of what is going on in your life, and just, you know, if the next surprises are already taking place. So group number 2, if you made it all the way to the end of your reading, leave a little yellow bird emoji down below in order to let me know, and just as a token of prosperity. So wherever you are in this world, group number 2, I wish you an amazing day or night, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amethyst group number 3, which is just such an amazing stone that helps you channel your most psychic and intuitive side, which may be why you ended up feeling drawn to it, okay? Maybe your psychic abilities are kind of activated right now. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what surprises are coming towards you. So we have the full moon in Leo first and foremost, and for all my Leos out there, we all know this is a powerful lunar occurrence, okay? Because you're a very powerful sign. Let's just be blunt. When you enter a room, things happen. So in correlation to the surprises coming for everybody, whether you're a Leo or whether you're any other sign, I see here that one thing that you have to like take note of is just the fact that you make an appearance, okay? As a surprise, you're going to feel way more watched. You're going to feel like people are paying closer attention to what you're doing, and you're just like a bit more of a showstopper than usual, okay? People are really taking notice of the moves that you're making, and up until this point, group number 3, it may have kind of felt as though nobody's really watching what you're doing, but trust me, sis, they're watching, okay? Trust me. And one thing that I can see here is just like you noticing more how maybe even like certain people surprisingly are talking about you or saying how they feel about your current success or the current path that you're going down, and you just kind of need to accept it, take it in, but don't take it to heart, because there are people who are kind of like a little bit on the jealous or envious side. Then we have the full moon in Sagittarius. So in the full moon in Sagittarius, I see you just having this like vision of seeing the bigger picture, of seeing things from a standpoint where it's not just your narrative, it's not just your ego, it's a standpoint that is all-inclusive to other people. So this may come as a surprise to you if you're usually somebody who's very hyper-focused on their own emotions because they're very overwhelming, or if you're just overall the kind of person who finds it hard to understand somebody's point of view when it's like very far-fetched from your point of view. As an example, if you're, for instance, very much into saving the environment and helping out animals, and you come across somebody who feels as though, you know, the environment, the climate will just like fix itself, regulate itself, they don't really want to do anything, it may be far-fetched to understand. But I just see like a broadening of empathy as well as understanding for everybody, no matter how much you just cannot comprehend their thought process. Then we have the new moon in Taurus. So in the new moon in Taurus, group number 3, we have prosperity coming for you, surprisingly. And if you're a Taurus or you know a Taurus, then you know that they like the finer things in life. They like the prosperity, they like the drained or depleted bank accounts, because they like to spend money on the things that are worth it to them, okay? And no shade to all my Tauruses. You're very dependable, you're very grounded at the same time, which just gives you like the balance, if you will. So you will deplete your account, but you will not leave it depleted, okay? You will deplete it so long as you know that prosperity is back on its way. Then we have the disseminating moon. So in the disseminating moon, we have a time of just kind of like relaxation, a time of you being able to chill. This may come as a surprise with how crazy everything has been recently in the world. So finally finding time for yourself, time to chill, time to just be you, may come as a surprise. And I know this sounds a little bit sad, group number 3, but hey, when things get busy in today's like society and everyday kind of life, it can be hard to just find a whole day or a whole weekend for yourself. It can be hard to just find a little bit of time that is uninterrupted, where you're not ready to pick up a call, where you're not checking your emails, where it's not like every time your phone lights up you're like, what's that? You know what I mean, group number 3. So I definitely see that being like surprisingly therapeutic and surprisingly just so needed for you. And then we have the 2 of emotions as well as the 10 of emotions. So the suit of emotions corresponds to the suit of cups in the traditional tarot. And I want you to know here in the 2 of emotions that we have kind of love coming for, well, not kind of love, okay, love. But what I mean with kind of love is that it doesn't have to be romantic. This could be platonic love. This could be love from a family member, and I can see here in the 10 of emotions just a deep fulfillment. And if you're single, it may come as a big surprise to you, you know, or if you've been in a difficult place with your family, with your friends, and all of a sudden you're back to where you used to be, you're vibing, your relationship has been restored. So yes, there may still be a little bit of insecurity there, or there may still be a little bit of baggage that needs to be worked on, but nevertheless, your relationships are thriving. The ones that you didn't think would are reviving or being given a chance to be resuscitated, if you will, yeah. Then we have the 7 of voices as well as the 9 of voices. So one thing that I can see here as a surprise for you is just like your journey to better and healthier sleep. That is one thing that I see in the 9 of voices. The 9 of voices can often be an indication of having to deal with thoughts that can come up in the form of nightmares or just like self-limiting beliefs. And I can see that, you know, the most important thing for you to know here in the 9 of voices is that it's all in your head. It has not yet transpired into reality. So group number 3, no reason to freak out, no reason to feel as though something is wrong. But I see here in the 7 of voices that it's like a surprise to you just how many steps forward you're really going to take and make when it comes to coming back to a place where your sleep is more relaxing, where you feel more rejuvenated after you have had time to rest, and where you just also feel like you have more control over your thoughts. So taking amazing steps forward on that journey is definitely a very much welcomed surprise that I see for you. But let's move further into your reading. We have success as well as freedom. So one thing that I can see here in success, we have it right here in correlation to the new moon in Taurus and the prosperity coming towards you. Just this feeling of success that you finally handed in the project or finally hit that next financial target, and being able to just kind of like bathe in the success, if you will, just kind of enjoy it. So be very picky who you surround yourself with during this time. Make sure that it's none of the people who are a bit critical of you, okay? And criticism is often a reflection of what somebody is going through internally with themselves. So if you do find criticism when it comes to your success, just allow it to just like be brushed off very easily. Allow it to not come anywhere near how you feel about yourself, because that is often just a reflection of how somebody else may be feeling or what they're going through. Then in freedom, furthermore, I see that this feeling of liberation is a feeling that you didn't expect. It's a feeling that is coming very surprisingly because of this healing of the certain relationship in your life that has been at a rocky place and the love kind of being revived in that situation. So the only way how that will happen is with truth. That is one thing that I can see in your reading, and just overall truth being a surprise that is an amazing change. Somebody finally opening up to you, telling you how they feel about you, how they've always felt about you, and maybe even kind of like a little confession of love, a little confession of adoration here in correlation to the two of emotions. So allow yourself to enjoy the truths that are coming towards you that are going to be very surprising. Last but not least, we have adventures. So going back on adventures, group number 3, allowing yourself to leave the house more, to start thinking of booking trips, or maybe actively already reserving certain things for trips, and going back on adventures where you can see different parts of the world, different parts of maybe your country, and just really spend quality time with yourself and with the person who you're going on these adventures with. Okay, so this comes as a surprise because you may have not thought that it's going to happen so soon, but your adventures are gonna come back into your everyday life sooner rather than later. So group number 3, this is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a little lion emoji down below in the comment section to let me know, and also as a token of good luck, okay, and keeping energy vampires out of the door. So group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you. Wherever you are in this world, I hope you're doing amazing. I'm sending you rays of love and light, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Carnelian group number 4, which is just such a gorgeous mineral. I absolutely adore it. It comes in all shades of red as well as yellow and orange. I will leave a little link down below if you're interested in a carnelian for yourself. So let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what surprises are coming towards you. So first and foremost, we have the new moon in Virgo. So one thing that I can see here is that you're at a point, or it will surprisingly come to a point, where you're receiving more than you're giving. And why this is a surprise group number 4 is because you're usually the giver. It's usually the other way around, where you're kind of providing help, support, just empathy for everybody and anything around you, but sometimes it can feel like the reciprocity isn't there. But I can see here in the new moon in Virgo that it's definitely being returned. You're coming back to a place where you feel like you're getting the recognition for the work that you put in, for the time that you kind of like gave to everybody else, and it's finally just being returned in a moment of you needing it, in a moment of you needing to be able to be the one that just like receives the love and receives the attention and the recognition. Then we have the full moon in Leo. So one thing I do want to warn you about group number 4 is to not let your pride get in the way, because sometimes we just really don't want to feel like a burden. We just really do not want to feel as though people are doing things for us because they feel obliged to, or at least, that's how it should be. Some people who are maybe more on the narcissistic side may just take, but that is also where you need to say like, no. That is where you need to set boundaries and cut them off, okay? And if they throw a tantrum, then that's up to them, but you can't just keep giving. And then at the same time, don't be shy to receive. Don't be shy to be the one who's the center of attention every now and then, or who also receives a little bit of love, affection, and attention in return for all of the love that you've given group number 4. Like, this is a deep-rooted self-love thing. Love yourself to the point where you can allow yourself to receive love from others as well. And then we have the waxing moon. So in the waxing moon, one thing that I can see here that is coming as a surprise is just how much things are gaining momentum. So maybe in your business right now, things are just gaining momentum, as in like getting bigger and better and moving on to like grander places that you did not expect, that come as a surprise to you. And just furthermore, just energy gaining momentum can sometimes also cause a little bit of friction. You can feel very lethargic, tired, like emotionally, and that may transpire into your physical body, because when you're emotionally and mentally very drained, it can just like physically knock you out. It can wipe you out more than working out. That is definitely one thing that I can vouch for. So I see here that just things gaining momentum and a lot going on around you can cause you to ask yourself, oh, why am I feeling so tired? Why am I feeling so lethargic? And it may come as a surprise to you that just mentally you got a lot on your plate, and that may be the exact reason why you have a little bit of ups and downs physically in your physical body. So pay close attention to that. Then we have love. Okay, so love, hello, hi. We have that as a surprise coming towards you, group number 4. And if you're single, this may be exactly what you need. You know, we have the Carnelian, which is a romantic red shade. We have love within your reading. I mean, what else do you really need as a confirmation of the fact that love is something that you're worthy of, and love is something that is moving towards you, that is moving towards your life. If you're already in a relationship, I want you to know here, just as the flower that we have here in the love card, love is a very fragile thing. Love is something that comes with ups and downs. Love is something that needs a lot of acceptance, a lot of care, and the more intimate you are with somebody, the longer you know them for, and the closer the relationship is, the more you're going to have to deal with miscommunication, misunderstanding, and just being hurt. But what I want you to just really look at next time you're arguing with a loved one, you're arguing with your partner, just somebody that you care very deeply for, really just ask yourself the question, if you know somebody is going to hurt me eventually anyways, because I'm human and hurt is just a part of life, it's just a part of this earthly life, this earthly existence, aren't I grateful that I'm being hurt by this person that I care about so deeply instead of somebody else? So kind of spin it around and be appreciative at the fact that hurt is going to happen anyway, so at least allow it to be quote unquote worth it. At least allow the person to be worth it, because you know you're going to hurt people, you're going to step on people's toes, and the same is going to happen with you. We're human, we make mistakes, and it's just important for us to remember that our loved ones are actually people who we should be grateful for when they do step on our toes, because it's so much easier to forgive and it's so much easier to deal with. So definitely just see that as a big change, as a surprising change in your viewpoint. Then we have leadership. So group number 4, if you're usually kind of the type who does not want to be the leader, who does not want to be the center of attention, who likes to just be in their own little bubble and not stir up too much commotion. I see here in leadership that as a surprise, you know, you're being voted to be, for instance, the leader of a project, you're being asked to step it up at work, or your business is just taking off to the point where you have to be the leader and you have to be the one who makes authoritative decisions and who like says it how it is, who just lays out the ground rules and allows them to be a part of everyday life. Okay, so don't feel uncomfortable about being the leader. I know this will be very surprising, this new leadership role that you're stepping into, but you just need to let it happen, okay? You just need to let it be a part of your journey and your process. Then we have the 5 of Voices, we have the 8 of Materials, as well as the 4 of Materials. So one thing that I can see here is that even though like you're moving into a prosperous place, I see here in the 8 of Materials that there are a lot of different places where you can kind of pick things from, and by pick things from, I mean, for instance, maybe you have 1 or 2 side businesses, additional streams of revenue, and you're able to finally see successes there. You're seeing some success in your education. Maybe you're also self-educating, reading a lot of books. That is very valuable, a very valuable form of education and emotional intelligence. And also in your career, in your work, you may feel as though, you know, you're able to just have a little bit more time. You're just able to make a little bit more income for yourself. And I see here in the 4 of Materials that because you're kind of like just picking a little bit from everywhere, it doesn't make that big of an impact to you. So you're still being a little bit stingy with yourself, group number 4. You're still being a little bit cheap on certain areas that maybe don't make sense to be cheap in. And I can see here in the 5 of Voices that this is something that you know, this is something that you're aware of, but you have yet to do something about it, group number 4. And what I mean by that is, for instance, you know, buying the, for instance, $100 bed frame that is probably going to fall apart after like 1 or 2 years. Trust me, I've been there. Instead of buying the maybe $400 or $500 bed frame that could last potentially for decades. But you want to save, even though in the long term it's not really worth it. First of all, it's not worth your time just searching the internet or searching local places for just the cheapest possible thing instead of something that is high quality that you like. Budget in that time and budget in like the journey there, the journey back, like ordering it or picking it up, and then also just the time that you have to invest again if it just like collapses, it doesn't work out, if the quality is so bad that you're going to have to replace it soon anyways. Okay, so I just see that kind of like being an area that you're wrestling with, and like to your surprise, you don't really need to do that, and you're starting to realize more and more what it really means to be smart with your resources, what it really means to be smart with your time. That is one thing that I can see here in the 4 of materials. But let's add a few more cards into your reading to see what else is coming towards you. So we have grateful. Okay, a newfound gratefulness, group number 4, which is always great. I notice whenever I'm really grateful, whenever I take time for gratitude and to journal my gratitude, I not only feel better, but somehow I have more abundance coming into my life, okay? Somehow I'm doing better financially, I'm doing better emotionally, and just gratitude is really the attitude of success. That is one thing that I definitely swear about and can vouch for. In Reawaken, one thing that I can see here is that if you felt like you were a little bit numb, like you couldn't feel much, and this may have to do, for instance, with depression. I see in Reawaken either being able to be weaned off of medication or just overall reawakening to the fact that being numb is not really how you want to be, and even if life entails pain, it's better than being numb. It's better than being in a situation where you're so numb that even if pain is being inflicted on you, you don't even know. So just like appreciating the fact that there are highs as well as lows, and just having the privilege to feel is a big one, because there are actually people who cannot feel, okay, who physically maybe have lost sensation in their arm, maybe the rest of their body, maybe, you know, there are just so many different ways where you can lose sensation, either emotionally or physically, and a lot of those people will tell you that I would definitely take back being able to feel all the feels, the good and the bad. I would happily take back the bad if that just meant that I could feel my emotions or feel my body the way I used to. So I see here just a story like that just hitting you. So you may be surfing the web, or you may be just on your Instagram, and all of a sudden you see a story of somebody who is speaking about exactly that. Like they wish they could just get the feel back. They wish they could just be grateful, or would have been grateful for all of the moments in which they had to deal with things that maybe weren't so easy, and just be able to experience it no matter how difficult. Then we have respect. Okay, so as a surprise, we have an increase in respect, group number 4. So if you have been feeling a lack of respect from people around you, co-workers, family members, okay, they are starting to feel that if they continue doing this, you're not going to stick around for much longer. And I agree with that, group number 4. Nobody has the right to treat you in a way how you don't want to be treated, or treat you in a way how they know they wouldn't like to be treated. So I definitely see like some healthy boundaries there, some newly established respect coming towards you. And that may be a surprise, because you may have never thought that you'd see the day. Trust me, been there. Then in learning, one thing that I can see here, last but not least, group number 4, is just the fact that it's a surprise to you how much you're really learning about yourself, as well as just the human psyche. So psychology is just something that I've always been very interested in. I'm interested in how I work, how other people work, and just learning why we do the things that we do. Why, for instance, do I at 12 at night feel the need to, you know, just like plunder? Is that even a word in English? Because like in German it's plündern, so that's when you like take something that isn't yours. Well, I mean, the food in the fridge is mine, but you know what I mean, I should be sharing it, but I just like eat everything at 12 at night, and I'm like, girl, why do you do that? Like, why are you doing that? And just, I find it very interesting to figure out what behaviors, like for instance overeating, can be triggered through certain emotional signals. So I just see you learning a lot more about, you know, the human body, the human psyche, just in general learning, in general educating. And that may come as a surprise to you because you thought you were done or you were kind of like in a good place, but the journey never ends, okay? We are just students for life, or should accept to be students for life, because that is the only way you can really go with the times and evolve and just become a better, greater version of yourself. So group number 4, this is a reading that I received for you. If you enjoyed it, make sure that you leave a little, which emoji should you leave? A little bug emoji, no, a butterfly emoji, okay? A little butterfly emoji down below in order to let me know that you made it to the end of your reading. And also furthermore, wherever you are in this world, I would just like to thank you for being a part of this video, of my energetic space, and I wish you a fabulous day or night whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you in one of my upcoming videos.